Hello guys, welcome to Movie Recap Addict. Without further ado, let's get started. To get his car, John Wick travels to an Abram Tarasov-owned warehouse. As a result of John killing his nephew ISF and brother Vigo, Abram demands retribution from him. Before John eventually makes it to his car, he is killing all of Abram's security personnel. A handful of Abram's men attack John as he drives off. The henchmen crash into Wick's car, severely damaging it, but Wick fights them off one by one before heading to Abram's office. When he gets there, John pours himself and Abram a drink. He offers Abram peace and decides to spare him. John is questioned by Abram on what it takes to attain true peace. John picks up the puppy he took at the end of the first movie and brings it home. He phones Aurelio to come get the car, which is a disaster but still drivable. Nevertheless, Aurelio promises to fix it. In his belief that he has ended the assassin's life, John reburies his weapons and gold beneath fresh cement after Aurelio departs. He views a video of himself and his late wife Helen on his phone. That evening, Santino D'Antonio, another assassin, pays John a visit. He gives John a marker that John handed him as he was finishing the work that allowed him to move on from his past existence. The symbol stands for a blood oath requiring John to carry out any task requested by Santino. John declines to assist Santino in spite of being aware of the repercussions. Santino departs John's home and returns with an R-137, which serves as a grenade launcher and is used to shoot grenades that cause John's home to be destroyed. John and the pet dog get away. John meets Winston in the Continental Hotel to talk about the marker and what Santino has asked of him. Since John agreed on the commitment, Winston is powerless to do anything about it, and if he persists in refusing it, his life is in jeopardy. Sharon, the hotel's concierge, will take care of the dog while John is gone. After finding Santino, John decides to complete one task for him. Gianna, Santino's sister, is about to join the High Table, a squad of formidable assassins, and Santino wants John to kill her. Santino responds that this is precisely why he sought John for the job when John claims that this is an unattainable target. He wanted the best. John goes to Rome to do the job since he can see no other way out. He lodges at Julius Rome Continental. John meets with suppliers to be ready, including a tailor to acquire specialized, bulletproof line clothing, a historian to get catacomb maps, and an armorer to get weaponry. John attends Gianna's coronation celebration and High Table welcome reception. She is joined by Cassian, her devoted bodyguard. John approaches Gianna on his own after sneaking inside her room. He claims to have been dispatched by Santino. She forewarns him of what would happen after her passing. By cutting her wrists, she decides to die on her own terms. Gianna passes away while lying in a pool. John keeps her hand until she falls asleep in remembrance of their previous friendship. John shoots her in the head to give his friend a fair shot at paradise without the burden of suicide, which her Catholic faith forbids, and to take possession of the marker. Cassian spotted John just as he was leaving. Upon discovering that John was on the job, Cassian instinctively drew his weapon, mirroring John's actions. Both men fired their guns at each other, but their bullet-resistant clothing left them unscathed. John quickly made his way into the catacombs, where he had previously stashed the weapons he'd purchased. There, he was ambushed by a swarm of Santino's henchmen, who aimed to eliminate him as a loose end. It became clear to John that Santino was double-crossing him, and he dispatched the attackers before making his escape. Cassian eventually caught up with John, leading to a fierce brawl that culminated in the pair crashing through a window into the Rome Continental. Knowing that no bloodshed was permitted on Continental grounds, John and Cassian decided to put their hostilities aside and share a drink at the bar. Over their drinks, John explained the marker that Santino had invoked, compelling him to assassinate Santino's sister. Cashin sympathized but couldn't let his ward's killer go unpunished. As a gesture of respect, Cashin paid for John's drink and departed. While at the Continental, John noticed Aries, Santino's new bodyguard, who communicated in sign language that she would be keeping an eye on him. John responded in kind, warning her that continued pursuit would have dire consequences. As John began his journey back to New York City, Santino issued a lucrative $7 million contract on his life, which was distributed to all nearby assassins. In a subway, a female violinist revealed a concealed firearm from her instrument and attempted to kill John, but he swiftly subdued her, ending her life. Another assassin, a heavy-set Asian man, met a similar fate as John defended himself. When two men in the subway sought to eliminate him, John unleashed brutal violence using nothing but a pencil. Cashin eventually confronted John on the train, resulting in a fierce battle. John managed to stab Cashin and drove the blade into his chest, piercing his aorta. Showing professional courtesy, John left Cashin alive, cautioning him that removing the knife would mean certain death. John exited the subway, leaving Cashin behind, injured. In desperate need of help, John sought out a seemingly homeless man and requested assistance, offering a coin as payment. The homeless man quickly dispatched two individuals disguised as janitors who were hunting John. This mysterious figure, known as him, turned out to be the Bowery King, an assassin with a scar on his neck from a past encounter with John. John had spared him in the past, and now the Bowery King contemplated taking the contract on John's life. However, after a persuasive conversation, John convinced him otherwise. With the Bowery King's assistance, John began to pinpoint Santino's location. John arrived at a museum where Santino was set to ascend to a position within the high table. In a dramatic showdown, John eliminated Santino's men who attempted to thwart his progress. He pursued Santino through a hall of mirrors before facing off against Aries. John managed to wound Aries and left her to her fate, refusing to extend the same professional courtesy he had granted Cashin. Santino sought refuge in the New York Continental, knowing that he was safe from harm within its walls. However, John tracked him down in the lounge. Winston, aware of John's intentions, attempted to defuse the situation, but John ultimately took Santino's life, a single gunshot sealing the deal. Afterward, John returned to the Continental to retrieve his faithful dog, meeting Sharon in the process. The following day, John met with Winston in a park, accompanied by his loyal canine companion. Winston reluctantly informed John that due to the breach of Continental rules, the High Table had doubled the contract on his life, spreading it to assassins worldwide. Winston had no choice but to declare John excommunicado, but he granted him a 1-hour head start before the contract went into effect. It became evident that every person in the park was an assassin, their collective gaze fixated on John. In a final exchange, John warned Winston to relay the message that anyone pursuing him would face lethal consequences. Winston agreed, and John departed, surrounded by potential threats, forced to flee once more. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.